Imagine a simple man with a simple cloth wrapped around him. He held no weapon, commanded no army, and owned very little. Yet, this man, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, moved an entire nation to its feet. He is called Mahatma, which means great soul, and in India, he is lovingly known as Bapu or Father. He is the father of the nation because he guided India towards freedom with a power that was greater than any empire. His strength did not come from force, but from truth. He showed everyone that you don't need to be a king or a general to change the world. You just need a strong heart and an unshakable belief in what is right. Gandhi's story began in Porbandar, India, but his journey to becoming the Mahatma took him across the world. He studied law in London and later went to South Africa. It was there, facing the harsh reality of racial discrimination, that he first discovered the power of non-violent protest. He saw how people were treated unfairly simply because of the color of their skin. This experience lit a fire in him, a fire to fight for justice not with anger, but with peace. He learned that standing up for your dignity without raising a hand could be the most powerful statement of all. This was the beginning of his philosophy, a way of life that would later free his homeland from centuries of foreign rule. When he returned to India, he saw his people living under the control of the British Empire. He saw farmers struggling, workers being exploited, and a nation's spirit being crushed. Gandhi did not just see the problems, he felt them in his bones. He traveled across the country, not in fancy trains, but in third-class compartments, to truly understand the lives of ordinary Indians. He listened to their stories, shared their food, and felt their pain. This deep connection with the people is what made him their leader. They didn't see him as a politician looking for power. They saw him as one of their own, a soul who truly cared for their future. His message was simple but profound. India could be free, but its people had to find their own strength first. He taught that true freedom was not just about getting rid of the British. It was about freeing oneself from fear, from hate, and from helplessness. He inspired millions to believe in themselves and in the power of unity. He asked them to spin their own cloth, to stand tall against injustice, and to never, ever give up on the dream of a free India. This is why he is the father of the nation. He did not just fight for a piece of land. He fought to give a nation back its soul and its self-respect. Gandhi believed that the greatest battles are won without shedding a single drop of blood. This idea was at the heart of his leadership in India's struggle for independence. He introduced a powerful weapon called satyagraha, which means holding on to truth. He organized massive movements where people would peacefully disobey unfair laws. The first of these was the non-cooperation movement in the early 1920s. He called upon Indians to stop cooperating with the British administration. Students left their schools, lawyers left their courts, and people boycotted foreign goods. It was a silent revolution, a nationwide protest that showed the British that their empire could not run without the consent of the Indian people. One of the most iconic moments of this peaceful resistance was the Salt March in 1930. The British had a law that made it illegal for Indians to make or sell their own salt. They had to buy it from the government and pay a heavy tax. To challenge this unjust law, Gandhi decided to walk. He started a 240-mile journey from his ashram to the coastal village of Dandi. With just a handful of followers at the start, the march grew as thousands of people from villages along the way joined him. It was a simple act, walking to the sea to make a pinch of salt, but it sent a powerful message to the world. It showed the quiet strength and determination of a nation rising up. When Gandhi finally reached the sea and picked up a lump of salty mud, he broke the law. This simple act of defiance sparked a massive wave of civil disobedience across India. Millions of people began making their own salt, openly defying the British government. The authorities responded with arrests, and thousands, including Gandhi himself, were put in jail. But the spirit of the people could not be imprisoned. The Salt March captured the imagination of the world, showing everyone the power of non-violent protest. It demonstrated that a moral cause, pursued with courage and discipline, could challenge the mightiest of empires. The final call for freedom came with the Quit India movement in 1942. As World War II raged, Gandhi delivered a powerful speech, giving the people a new mantra: do or die. He urged them to act as a free nation and to demand that the British leave India immediately. This was not a call for violence, but a call for ultimate sacrifice through non-violent means. The British government responded swiftly, arresting Gandhi and the entire leadership of the Indian National Congress. But the movement had already taken root in the hearts of the people. It led to widespread protests and strikes, showing the British that their time in India was finally coming to an end. Gandhi's fight for freedom was not just political, it was also deeply social. He saw that India could never be truly free if its own people were divided and oppressed. One of the biggest social evils he fought against was the practice of untouchability. For centuries, a section of society, the Dalits, were treated as untouchables, denied basic human rights, and forced to live in segregation. Gandhi's heart broke seeing this injustice. He believed that this practice was a terrible stain on Hinduism and a crime against humanity. He gave the Dalits a new name, Harijans, which means children of God, to remind everyone of their divine worth and dignity. He did not just preach against untouchability, he took direct action to challenge it. He lived with Harijans, ate with them, and cleaned his own toilets, a task that was traditionally forced upon them. He wanted to show through his own example that no work was lowly and no person was impure. He went on fasts, risking his own life, to awaken the conscience of the upper caste Hindus. He argued that Swaraj, or self-rule, would be meaningless if millions of Indians were still treated as less than human. His efforts led to the opening of temples and public wells to Harijans, breaking down barriers that had stood for generations. This philosophy of equality extended to his vision for a self-reliant India. He believed that the British had made India poor by destroying its local industries and forcing it to depend on foreign goods. He promoted the idea of Swadeshi, which means supporting things made in one's own country. He made the spinning wheel, or charkha, a symbol of economic independence and self-respect. He encouraged every Indian, rich or poor, to spend some time each day spinning their own yarn and weaving their own cloth, called khadi. This was not just about economics. It was a powerful political statement against colonial exploitation. Wearing khadi became a uniform for freedom fighters, a symbol of their commitment to a self-sufficient India. By making their own clothes, Indians could boycott the expensive textiles imported from Britain, hitting the empire where it hurt most, its wallet. Gandhi's call for Swadeshi was a call to reclaim national pride and to build an economy that served the needs of the villages, not the factories in Manchester. He envisioned an India made up of strong, self-sustaining village communities, where every person had work and lived with dignity. This vision of economic empowerment was a crucial part of his larger struggle for complete freedom. Mahatma Gandhi's life was his message. He lived a life of extreme simplicity, renouncing all worldly possessions. He owned only a few things: his glasses, a pair of sandals, a bowl, and the simple khadi cloth he wore. He showed the world that a person's greatness does not come from what they own, but from the values they live by. His life was a testament to his core principles of truth, or satya, non-violence, or ahimsa, and self-discipline. He believed that to change the world, you must first change yourself. He followed a strict routine of prayer, fasting, and work, demonstrating that discipline of the mind and body was essential for a freedom fighter. His ideas were not limited to India. They echoed across the globe, inspiring countless others who were fighting for justice and civil rights. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States were deeply influenced by Gandhi's philosophy of non-violent resistance. Dr. King used Gandhi's methods in the American civil rights movement to fight against racial segregation. He saw in Satyagraha a powerful tool for oppressed people everywhere to demand their rights peacefully. Nelson Mandela in South Africa also drew inspiration from Gandhi's legacy in his long and difficult struggle against apartheid. Gandhi's message of peace and truth became a universal language for freedom. The values he championed, truth, equality, and compassion, are more relevant today on July 25, 2025 than ever before. In a world often torn apart by violence and conflict, Gandhi's teachings offer a path to peace. He showed us that dialogue is better than war, that understanding is better than anger, and that a commitment to truth can overcome any lie. His fight for the poor and the marginalized reminds us that a society is only as strong as its most vulnerable members. His simple life challenges our modern obsession with consumerism, urging us to find happiness not in material things, but in service to others. Gandhi's legacy is not just in the history books, it lives on in the spirit of India and in the hearts of people who continue to fight for a better world. He taught us that one person can make a difference, that non-violence is a weapon of the strong, and that the ultimate victory is the victory of truth. He was the father of a nation, but he was also a gift to all of humanity. His life continues to inspire us to be the change we wish to see in the world, proving that a great soul never truly dies. His light continues to guide us towards a more just, peaceful, and compassionate future.